I moved to the Philippines on $1,700 a month from Social Security, and I knew before I even got on the plane that it might not be enough. Back in the U.S., $1,700 didn't go far at all. Rent alone could take most of it, and every month felt like trying to stay afloat instead of actually living. So for me, this wasn't about chasing some dream life I saw online. It was about trying to find a way to make life work without constantly stressing about money. But everywhere I looked before coming here, I kept seeing the same thing. People saying you needed around $3,000 a month to live comfortably in the Philippines. Some said less was possible, but only if you were willing to sacrifice a lot. And I'll be honest, that stuck with me. Because I didn't have $3,000, I had $1,700 and not much saved. So before I ever set foot in the Philippines, I knew it was going to be tight. But the part I didn't realize at the time wasn't just whether $1,700 was enough. It was how easy it is to start spending more than you planned, even in a place that's supposed to be cheaper, and that's what caught me off guard the most. I wasn't someone who had a big retirement plan figured out years in advance. I worked most of my life, paid into the system, did what I was supposed to do, and when it came time to step away from working full-time, what I had was $1,700 a month. That was it. And in the U.S., it just wasn't enough. Everything kept going up, and it felt like I was always trying to keep up. And even small things started to feel expensive. It got to a point where every decision felt like a trade-off. Do I pay this bill or hold off? Do I go out or stay home? Do I fix something now or wait and hope it doesn't get worse? That's not really living, that's just getting by. And after a while, that starts to wear on you, not just financially, but mentally, because it feels like no matter what you do, you're always just trying to keep up. So I started looking at other options, and the Philippines kept coming up. Lower cost of living, slower pace, people saying you could stretch your money further. At first, I didn't take it seriously. It felt like something other people did, not me. But the more I looked into it, the more it started to make sense. Not perfect, but possible. And that was enough. Before I left, I tried to think through everything, at least as much as I could. One thing I kept seeing people talk about was needing an onward ticket, something showing you weren't planning to stay forever right away. I didn't know how strict it actually was, but with everything riding on this move, I didn't want to take the chance. So instead of booking a round trip back to the U.S., which I couldn't really afford anyway, I booked a cheap flight to Thailand about 30 days later. It wasn't part of the plan. It was just a backup. If things didn't work out here, I had a way out. And if they did, I could always change it. At the time, it felt like the safest way to do it. And honestly, no one ever even asked me for it. But at the time, I didn't know that. I just knew I couldn't afford for something to go wrong before I even got there. Because once I got on that plane, there really wasn't a backup plan. The first few days in the Philippines felt different. The heat, the noise, the way things worked, it all took getting used to. Even simple things like getting around, finding food, understanding prices, it wasn't automatic. And at first, there's a bit of excitement. Everything feels new at first, but that feeling doesn't last very long. But after that initial feeling settles, reality starts to set in. Because you're not on vacation, you're trying to build a life. And that's the part that no one really explains. The first few days can feel exciting, but they don't tell you much about what it's actually going to be like living here. Because living here is very different from visiting here. The first month was where things started to feel real, because that's when the money part actually starts to matter. I had a rough budget in my head before I came, but once you're actually living day to day, things don't always line up the way you expect, even if you think you planned for it. Rent alone wasn't terrible, but deposits, small setup costs, things like basic furniture, kitchen items, it adds up faster than you think. And that's when I started realizing the problem wasn't just the big expenses. I remember the first time I went to a grocery store here, I wasn't really thinking too much about prices. At first, I was just grabbing things I was used to buying back in the U.S., and at first it didn't seem like much, but when I got to the register and saw the total, that's when it started to click. Some of the things I picked up weren't really cheaper at all, and a few of them were actually more expensive than what I was used to, especially anything imported. And that's when I realized if I kept shopping the same way I did back home, my budget wasn't going to work here either. At first, I told myself I was going to keep things simple, eat local, stick to a budget. But when you first arrive, you don't always do that. You go to places that feel familiar. You eat out more than you planned. You choose convenience because everything is still new. And before you realize it, your spending doesn't look that different from what it was in the U.S., just in different ways. And then there was the electric bill. I remember opening it and just sitting there for a second, not because it was insanely high, but because it was higher than I expected, running the air conditioning at night. Something I didn't think twice about at first suddenly became something I had to think about every day. And when you're living on a fixed $1,700, it's not just about the numbers, it's the feeling that comes with it. Every decision matters a little more. Every expense makes you pause. And that's where I started wondering, did I actually make the right move coming here? I remember checking how much I had left about halfway through the month, not because I was out of money, but because I could feel I was spending more than I planned. And when I actually looked at it, it wasn't terrible, but it was lower than I expected it to be at that point. And that's the moment where it really starts to feel real, because you realize if things keep going the same way, you're going to run into problems later on. And that's when I knew I couldn't just hope it would work. I had to start paying attention, because at that point it didn't feel like things were getting easier. It felt like I had just traded one kind of stress for a different one. I started noticing where my money was actually going, not where I thought it would go. Little things. Eating out more than I planned. Running the AC longer than I needed to. Choosing convenience over cost without really thinking about it. And that's when it finally clicked. It wasn't that $1,700 wasn't enough. It was that I was still living like I had more than that. It wasn't about panic. It was about adjustment. I didn't need more money. I needed to be more intentional. Once I adjusted, things didn't just improve financially. They improved mentally. Cooking more, eating local food. Those weren't just ways to save money. They became part of a routine. And that's where you really feel the difference here. If you eat local, your money stretches. If you don't, it doesn't. And that's something I wish I understood before I came here. Living on $1,700 here isn't perfect. You're not living a luxury lifestyle. You still have to think about your spending. But compared to where I was before, it works. There's less stress, less pressure, more room to actually enjoy your day instead of constantly worrying about the next bill. And that alone makes a difference. I remember one day sitting outside, nothing special was happening. It was just a normal day. But for the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about bills or what was coming up next. I was just sitting there, and everything felt quiet. And that's when it really hit me. Not that everything was perfect, but that the pressure I felt back in the U.S. wasn't there anymore. And that's something I didn't fully understand until I experienced it for myself. And looking back now, I'm still here in the Philippines. I ended up settling in Dumaguete, and over time, things just became more normal. It wasn't as simple as I thought it would be, and it definitely wasn't as cheap as I expected in the beginning. But once I adjusted how I lived, instead of expecting everything to be cheaper, that's when things started to work. Not perfectly, but in a way that felt sustainable. And for me, that was enough.